Hi, my name is Bo Hummel. I'm the pastor of Family Ministries here at Walnut Creek Mennonite Church. Typically, you'd find me over in the children's wing during this time, but today I'm over in Marion, Ohio with my family, my extended family, celebrating the dedication of my nephew, Isaac. So I did still want to be a part of what's taking place here at the church, talking about what God is going to do, we perceive maybe God might be up to here this year. Last week I got to share about some of the stuff God did in my life over the last 8 years in dealing with youth ministry, and what God has done specifically with the youth and with the children. Two things you've seen a lot of changes in. This year we have two other priorities that we're focusing on. One you're going to find is very, very obvious and really tangible things are happening. The other one is pretty ambiguous. We're not sure where God's going to take it yet, but it is right at the top of our list. The first one is something that happened that began starting about 3 years ago and then died. And then several months ago, it started up again, and we're determined that this time we're going to see it through. I'm sitting in the nursery, and we have in our church about 30 kids under the age of 3, which means this room, as we have it now, should, by our programming strategy, have 30 kids in it every Sunday morning. Can you see how big this place is? There's no way that this can house 30 kids. Not that we're trying to get them out of the church service, but what saddens me is watching parents walking around the hallways with their kids because they don't want to be distracting to other kids and families in the service. To see some parents sitting in some back Sunday school classrooms or sitting in the library all during service just because they don't want to be a disruption to other families who they know are agitated by having kids in the service sometimes. I'm frustrated of having to see parents during the summer months literally walking around in the parking lot with 2 or 3 of their children who aren't yet old enough for the children's ministry that we have right now, but don't want to be a distraction in the church service. You ask, why are they in the nursery? It's because they don't feel comfortable putting them in the nursery. And that's not because we don't have good workers. We have great workers. But the idea of 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds crawling over 1-year-olds and 1-year-olds crying over the 3-year-olds is just chaos. And Marie Miller has done a fantastic job of coordinating the nursery in the years past, and Penny Summers, they've done fantastic with what we have to work with. But what we've developed in the last few months, we've had one meeting so far. It's called the Nursery Now Committee. We named it that because we want the name to remind us the urgency of what we're dealing with. So what the plan is, we have, the director of nursery here at the church, Marie Miller. We have a professional child care worker in the group. We have 3 mothers. We have a private contractor who does some buildings, all in this committee, and the whole point of putting this group together is to help us to start to dream and to give something over to the church council and the board of directors so that by next year we have something that, if it's not finished, at least has been started. So the beginning of next fall, we have an expanded nursery that's not only more spacious, but also better equipped and better run as well. So you'll be seeing some changes going on in that department in the next few months. If you were to ask anybody what were some of the most awkward years of their lives, more times than not, they're going to point back to junior high. What I've come to realize is that both me and my youth ministry and my job here, and us as a broader congregation, we're not doing a very good job of seeing that our junior high students don't feel like it's an awkward stage. We talk so much about this being a pasoma, about the whole body of Christ. And with what's going on in the youth ministry, like we talked about last week, and what's going on with the children's ministry, we're doing, I think, a good job of trying to create environments where pasoma can take place. Not so much with the junior high. I'm not saying this to discredit any of the people who have given their time to the junior high. In fact, I do want to take a moment to honor 3 people in particular. The first is Max Beachy. Max, I think, was teaching the junior high class before I even got here. And so I would say between 10 and 15 years, every Sunday morning, as an unpaid person, Max just felt called and passionate about these kids, and they knew it. And so he would be up here in this room with them every Sunday morning, sharing God's Word with them and sharing his life with them. The second is Kim Miller. When Max stepped down, Kim stepped in. Kim hadn't taught Sunday school before, hadn't worked with junior high students before, but just felt called to do it, which was pretty exciting. And though she was pretty green, and she'd be the first to attest that, she gave her best and poured herself into it and is nurturing relationships with these kids, and actually is starting to give me some advice on what is needed to help this Sunday school go better. So I appreciate your work, Kim. The last are Jen and Jason. Jen and Jason Yoder have been junior high sponsors now for 6 years. I didn't realize how long it was until I just was thinking about it over Christmas time. For 6 years, as an unpaid staff members, we both before they were married and now they are married, have given week after week on Wednesday nights to these kids. And I wish you could see how well they not only just relate to them, but how passionate they are about conveying the truth of God's love to them as well. But what I've seen basically is that we have these two land masses in our church. We have the land mass of childhood, that we have a lot of stuff going on. We have this land mass of teens and adulthood, but we have this little island in the middle called junior high. And we're really staffing well. We've got a lot of adults working with the children, a lot of adults working with the adults in high school, but it's like we're sending a little sailboat with a few emissaries like Max and Kim and Jason and Jen and some other people that help them out through the years, just to come spend some time. And when they're done with that, then they can come be part of a real ministry in the church, like the kids before them and then the high school and adults after them. But if we're going to talk about being a whole body, a pasoma, then we've got to start doing junior high ministry as though it really is a part of the pasoma. And I've been in conversation with Jen and Jason for probably 2 years now about what we can do to further develop it. And been talking now with the high school sponsors and some other older teens about what we can do to help make this junior high ministry not just more fun, I know they have fun, but a place where they are really a part and growing into their place as a person in the body of Christ, not just here, but in the church universal. So, like I said, the nursery, we have a plan in action. We know where we're going. We don't know what it's going to look like in the end, what the space will look like. With the junior high, I don't know what to promise yet. I know we've had a few meetings. I know in my heart this is right at the top of what needs to take place here at the church. So Max and Kim, Jason, Jen, we're looking to build off the sacrifice and commitment you gave. And junior high students, we've never forgotten you. Forgive us for not doing our part fully, both as youth pastor and as a congregation. I believe with all my heart that as a believer in Jesus Christ, you're as much part of the body as anybody in this church. And it's time that you're going to start feeling that way. What it's going to look like, I don't know. When it'll look like that, soon. Thanks for letting me share this morning. Have a great Sunday.